guys know Josh, Fred also. These guys put it on. Feel free, fire away.
Guys, what's Dominic from After Shows? What do you guys think? Like putting on the first show. Let me get your initial reactions from it. But on top of that, too, what is your future goals? Planning on moving on with the showcase and seeing where it goes, and has any of that changed since you just put on this? Or what are your initial thoughts?
First of all, I mean, we're just literally coming off this thing, and we are so happy with how everything went. I mean, I'm speaking for you, but it's,
it could not have come off any better. We were happy with it. The crowd was incredible.
Yeah.
The matches that everybody just put on an awesome show. I think for me, I don't want to take credit for this because I think we ended up actually doing just a very small part. We had an incredible team of people.
Unbelievable team. If you'd seen the amount of people who put this all together, every aspect of it, from the performers on down, we're just really lucky to be surrounded by just some of the best in the business at everything they do, and I think that's really why this came off as well as it did.
Yeah, and as far as the future, and forgive me my voice, I was just celebrating with my best friend Matt Cardona, the new Wrestling Showcase champion. As far as the future, I think right now we're going to try and live in the moment for a little bit. But this was a success by every metric, and that's something that is very rare to come across. And I think this was we had this idea, and like I said, we had an incredible team that was able to implement this idea, and for us to be able to be a part of this this night, I mean, we're kind of riding the wave right now. So I think, look, it was a success. You usually don't run away from a success, so that's kind of I can't say anything now, but yeah, I feel very good that this is not the last time you will see the Wrestling Showcase. It's definitely not the last time you're going to see the Wrestling Showcase Championship, because Matt Cardona will be carrying that with him for an entire year. Everywhere he goes, he will carry that with him, and we couldn't be. All kidding aside, we could not be happier to have that championship on him, to have him representing this brand that we created, and yeah, I mean, it was just.
I think everyone knows. Everyone who's seen Josh do anything knows how big a fan he is and how passionate he is about professional wrestling, and I share that passion, and that our whole lives we've been such huge fans of the business and been in and out of it, and we've loved putting on shows. We did stuff 20 years ago that we were putting on small indie shows.
You're ageless.
I'm really ageless, but to have the opportunity to work with the kind of people that we were fortunate enough to work with, and to do something on this scale. And I mean, with the list of people we had to thank, I mean, obviously Conrad Thompson, who welcomed us into his Top Guy weekend, gave us the opportunity to do the show here. Jeff Jarrett, who made these matches as good as they were.
Some other people who helped out that I don't know, depending on what company they work for, whether or not we're allowed to say their names, so we're just not going to do that. But they know who they are, and we really appreciate it.
We had just I don't even know where to begin.
No, I mean, for us, we had our core. It's even when you break it all the way down to the creative and the production and the people behind it and everything. We also work very closely with Calvin Tan and Matt Mangle, who were part of our team. We do Talking with Friends with them, and they're two of our best friends for many, many years. And to be able to work with them on something like this too is extra special. To be able to work with all of the men and women that we have so much respect for, to be able to do something like this, and more than anything, when I just walked back before we came out here, when I walked back and I saw everybody and just how happy everyone was,
sure.
that was really important to us. Was we wanted to put on a show that, of course, the fans were going to love. And I believe we succeeded with that. But it was even more important for us, in some ways, that the talent was going to say, like, hey, this was a show that really was catered toward, I mean, pun intended, it was for them to be able to showcase who they were and what they bring to professional wrestling. And I know they're happy. I hope that everybody who watched this enjoyed it.
We have a roster that loves this business at least as much as we do, and we just wanted an opportunity for this to really be, when we came up with the title, the Wrestling Showcase, I mean, it's a celebration of the sport and the entertainment of professional wrestling, and I think we really was very happy that the show delivered on that on all counts.
Last one, guys. Got the champ waiting.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do a couple more.
Make them wait.
Right, champ?
The Wrestling Showcase Championship, you described this basically as a touring championship. Can you elaborate on that as Matt Cardona joins us right now?
As he joins. Please. You should go in there.
Oh, yeah.
There
Fun,
it is.
Josh.
So,
Man.
the Wrestling Showcase, yes, so it's touring in the sense that he will be touring because Matt Cardona is everywhere.
I'm going
all
to
over the
GCW
world.
right after this.
Right, yeah,
I
you're
don't
gonna
stop. Bring the title right there.
So you're gonna go see this on GCW tonight. Yeah, I mean it's not a championship that's defended. This is a championship. He won this. He is the 2022-2023 Wrestling Showcase champion.
We view
Like
that as
Stanley
being
Cup,
like a Super
yeah.
Bowl champion. Yeah, that this is he represents this title and this brand for this year, the next year to
And
come.
who else was going to win it?
I mean,
Right?
if anybody heard my commentary, you know exactly who I thought. But you worried me for a minute there with your bicep.
Well,
Thank
it's
God.
a false alarm, but I'm back. I'm 100%. Did it for the Wrestling Showcase universe, you know?
Yeah, hey.
Now I'm the first ever champion. That's right. So,
You guys have questions for Matt? Go
we
ahead.
got
fire away.
questions. We got questions. Don't make them dumb. I want to get some deep dish somewhere.
Yeah.
Matt, with your storied career and all the titles you've won, where do you put the Wrestling Showcase title in that list? Like, is it top 5, top 10? And what does it mean to you to be the very first one?
I mean, it means so much for me to be the very first Wrestling Showcase champion. I mean, my career this year, I've won a lot of titles. NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Impact titles, Internet Champion, but I got hurt. I had to relinquish them all. So this is the first title back. I'm going to start a new collection of titles, but I'm honored to be the first ever Wrestling Showcase champion. I mean, you look at the guys in that bracket, it was a who's who of pro wrestling, a lot of free agents, but I'm not just a free agent. I am the agent. I am the guy right now in the independents. So it's only fitting that I'm the first ever champion.
Matt, there's some people already online reacting to the show saying.
Yeah, what are they saying?
Well, some people are saying it's a little controversial that you were in
Yeah.
the tournament final, considering you weren't in the semifinal match to get there.
Well, I mean, I had an injury scare. You know, the doctor, luckily, Josh, he got some great doctors. It was a false alarm, a misdiagnosis. By the time the finals came around, we realized I am not injured again. So, I mean, Karen Jarrett, she made her decision. She could have said, no, you're not in this match. But she was the, I don't know, was she the commissioner?
She was the host.
She was
and,
the host.
And at times, I
Yeah.
felt maybe she overstepped as host with some things.
I
Chelsea's
disagree.
match in particular, I
Yeah.
felt like, hey, you know, a win is a win. But she made the right decision, I think, in the end.
Yeah, next year we're not going to be talking about how I won. We're just going to be talking about that I won. That's the most important thing.
Now, where does you've had a busy weekend already coming up and moving forward? What do you have planned going forward with the showcase title, and what is your goals coming up for the rest of the year? Would you say?
I'm going to bring this title everywhere. Right after this, I'm going to go up to my room, change my gear, not even shower, and I'm bringing this title to GCW. I will bring this to the UK this month. I will bring this everywhere because I am the face of the Wrestling Showcase. I think any company that gets behind me, they see that I get behind them right back. It's a back and forth relationship. It's a 50-50 relationship, and this is a beautiful title, and I will carry it with pride.
Matt, I'm sure getting released from WWE a couple years ago was heartbreaking for you.
It wasn't for me, no. It was the
No?
best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay. Yeah. that was
No, but seriously, at the time, I did not re-sign my contract. I knew my contract was about to be up, and it was every day the anxiety: do I stay? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I go? And ultimately, the decision was made for me. And I'm so fortunate for my time in WWE. In fact, when I got released, I was looking at a picture of me and my dad at WrestleMania 32, with all smiles. I knew it was the best thing for me. I knew it had to happen. And instead of sitting on my ass, I made sure, I didn't care about proving anyone wrong. I wanted to prove myself and my fans right. And over the past 2 years, I know that I've done exactly that.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Guys over there?
Any other questions?
Hop in.
As regards to the showcase and moving forward with like the year and stuff like that, how do you want to keep it kind of fresh in people's minds throughout the course of the year if you decide to have another one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fresh in their minds because Matt is, he's one of the best in the business today. He is constantly figuring out a way to put himself in the spotlight and have people talking about him. So when they're talking about him and he's got this championship right here over his shoulder, that right there is how it stays in the spotlight. But also what we're hoping is with the success of the show and the talk online right now, that anybody who missed it, it is available on demand on Fight right now. You can go and you can order it and you can watch it. And that's what we're thinking. We're thinking people will over time, as they see him, maybe they didn't hear about it. He's going over to the UK. Maybe we didn't push it as hard in the UK as we did here in the US. So maybe he goes over there and somebody looks at him and go, what is this about? I don't know what this is for. And now they hear, oh, it's this tournament, this one-night tournament. Wow, that sounds incredible. Where can you find it? You can find it on Fight. Go watch it now. So that's how I think him taking this championship with him for the next year, that's really our mindset of how we're going to keep this brand in people's minds and get them excited to see if we were to do a second one, how do you top this? That's the biggest challenge. How do you top a night like this? So, but this is, he's the first ever, the inaugural champion, and we couldn't be happier.
And if I could piggyback off that, as a talent, as a wrestler, I mean, listen, I thought it was going to be a glorified indie show, right? We got here, there's a format, right? There's a great entranceway, the ring, and Mike Chioda made sure everything was up to par. I mean, this was a very well-run show from beginning to end. The travel, the accommodations, the hotel, the catering. So the wrestlers, the guys, the girls, we love being a part of it. So, we'll be talking about it, maybe not online or in message boards, but with our friends, other wrestlers. And there's going to be a whole list of people trying to get in the tournament next year just to be a part of a show like this. I'm about to go to GCW. There will be no goddamn locker room. I'll be changing. The fans will see me. I'll have to piss outside, right? But here, this was done professionally, and I'm honored to be the champion.
One more from Matt, guys.
Matt, I want to ask you, is there a particular wrestler you like to gauge yourself with in their career as opposed to yours?
I think I am like the only Matt Cardona, right? I mean, my story speaks for itself. There's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I love all the lows, right? Everything, you can't just love this business when you're at the top. You have to love it when you're at rock bottom. I've been there a couple times, but it makes the moments that much sweeter. And I've said this a bunch of times, and I mean it. Nobody's been counted out in this business more times than me, and have come back, more times than me. I love this business through the good and the bad, and I'm proud to be this champion. I'm going to take this championship all over the world.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, man.
so much.
Thanks,
All right, thanks, guys.
Right.
We
Yep.
have Taya coming in for you guys.
All right.
Want us to stay here?
Yeah, want us to
Stay here? Okay. Should we? I feel like I'm going to move here, and we're going to put Taya in the middle. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Taya, we're going to put you in the middle over here. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Actually, let me get you a fresh one. I think Matt cracked
Yeah, I
that
don't want
one.
Matt's.
Cracked it.
I don't want Matt's
Cracked it.
liquid,
You know what Matt's-
liquid,
No.
liquid death by
No,
Matt
that would
Cardona
be
is
it.
not something I want to deal with.
All right, Taya, thank you so much for taking the time. As soon as she sets up the hardware,
You got
guys-
way too
I'm
many
trying.
pieces to
I'm
set up here.
trying,
That's what
guys.
happens, right?
I'm also like shaking because I need to eat. So. Okay. There.
Ty, you've had a busy 2022.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel overall? Like, from being released from WWE and just moving on with the career and seeing how it's been going and getting the belts from all these, from AAA, NLW, and now like you've been a part of the wrestling showcase as well as plenty of other, just staying busy basically.
Mm-hmm.
How's it kind of been for you, like looking back on it and just kind of moving forward, knowing what you want to accomplish still?
It's such a. I've had a lot of moments of reflection over the last year, and also waves of, oh my God, woe's me, to like, okay, I can, remember who you are. It's very corny, but it's true. And so for me, it's just been, I really had to dig deep and really did remember who Taya was, and what La Huera Loca means, and the legacy and the story that I've created for myself, and the spot that I've made for myself in this business. So that's exactly what I did. And, I don't do well to people saying no, and people underestimating me just means that I have to go 120% harder. And I just knew that I had something to prove, not only to the fans and to different promotions that I've worked with in the past, but to myself. And so more than anything, this year has been a love letter to myself to prove that I do belong.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now that you're in a stronger position, holding 2 championship titles here from 2 top promotions, is there a sense of who's up next? Is there an opportunity for you now that you're in this position for a match that you've always wanted that you haven't had before?
I mean, I feel like wrestling now in our time that we're living in right now is so different than it was even 3 years ago, pre the end of the world pandemic. So it's really fun because I get to work for all these different places, and I get to wrestle people that I've never wrestled before, or even have rematches that I didn't think might have been possible before. So I also hold the XPW Women's Championship, which is on the West Coast. so I've been getting different challenges out there, and all these different places have different vibes and different competitors. So, I mean, off the top of my head, I just think there's just so many people that are brand new that I haven't gotten to wrestle that I would love to step into the ring with. And, you know, this is an invitation to everybody. I'm a fighting champion. No matter where I am, if it's in AAA, if it's an MLW, if it's an XPW, if it is an NWA, if it is an Impact Wrestling, I am always ready to put up a fight and fight for that spot on top of the mountain, right? So, you know, after what we saw today, I would absolutely love to send out the invite to Miss Chelsea Green and Deanna Perrazzo, since they have so much to say, that if they really did think that they should be getting an opportunity for the MLW Women's Featherweight Championship, that they can find me at MLW.
Thank you. I just want to say that the women's match for me was match of the night. The near falls and the psychology of the 2-on-1 was really something that intrigued me. Are there any plans for a showcase women's championship belt down the line?
That is a very good question. It's something that we, in as much as we've talked about the future, it is something that is in every conversation about the future.
So
for months now.
Right, and when we first had the idea, you know, obviously our thought process was, okay, well, maybe we could do a two-night. We could do a women's wrestling showcase. We could do a men's wrestling showcase. And what happened was a lot of, as we looked at it, first of all, you know, it costs money to put on a show, and it costs twice as much to put on two shows. But we looked at it and we said, you know what, let's you know, walk before we run. We already had been in talks with a number of different male talent, and we said, okay, I think we're going to go with that. And that's why we said we don't want this to just be a men's show. So it was important to us that we had that women's match was not just a women's match. It wasn't just, we're going to take a couple of women, they're going to have a match. We really did go out and we found the three who, Fred and I believe, are the three best women wrestlers in the world today. And Court Bauer and MLW were incredible to allow us to have that championship defended on our show. That was huge, and that was something we really wanted. We wanted to make it more than just, okay, again, even now you would just have the best women wrestling each other. We wanted it to be a championship match. We wanted to say, yes, the showcase tournament is a men's tournament this time, but the women are just as damn good, if not better, than the men. And that was important to us.
Early on, some of the conversations that we had and some of the conversations that we had with some of the really great legends who gave us some terrific advice when we were putting this together, we came around to the idea that a tournament has a lot of value, but that a show needs to have a standout match in addition to the tournament. And obviously the finals of the tournament is a main event in itself, but that we wanted something else. And pretty much from day one, we knew that we wanted to get some of the best women wrestlers in the world, and that was going to be right up there with the finals of the tournament. So we were very happy with how it came off.
And we were very lucky to get, because our three choices were Chelsea, Deanna, and Taya. Yeah. And I mean, so we were pretty lucky to be able to actually pull that off and get what it was that we wanted. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think everybody, top to bottom on this card, including even the guys from OVW who came, I just thought everybody, and the pre-show as well, everybody just brought their A game, and really, it means so much to us that they didn't treat this as a, hey, we're going to go and we're going to work a match, and we'll go on to the next show or whatever. They saw what we saw, what this show could be, and so we're thank you. We're very happy with how it turned out.
Let's do two more, guys. Please.
Taya, with you being regarded as one of the best women wrestlers in the world, where do you see women's wrestling going, say, in the next 5 years? Are we going to see a big resurgence, or are we going to see the women's wrestling kind of break out on its own and stand and say, hey, we're just as good, if not better?
I think you're seeing that right now. That, for example, NWA 74, Night 1, I main evented with Camille in what people were calling the match of the night, which is what I set out to do every single time. And I think that we still have a long way to go. I think that we need more women's matches on shows. We deserve those opportunities, and we've proven over and over again that we have the hype, we have the work ethic, we have the look, we have all of the stuff that goes into making a professional wrestler, a superstar, whatever you want to call us. We really are pushing the boundaries of what people expect. Think about wrestling, women's wrestling 10 to 15 years ago has come a long way. They walked so we could run, and now we are willing to sprint up this mountain to try and continue to push those boundaries and get recognized for what we deserve.
Thank you.
Let's get some demand for a women's wrestling showcase. Anybody who's watching this, any fans, you can definitely will it into existence. Okay, so let's do that. Let's let everybody know and tweet at the Wrestling Showcase. Let them know who you want in the tournament. I think we know one person that would absolutely be in. But
Last one, guys, for Taya.
Ty, what do you talked about like having more matches for women and stuff on cards, but what is some other stuff that you think the industry overall can really improve in to kind of like implement women's wrestling and kind of make it like almost feel like, cohesive with everything, you know what I mean? Like just fits in with everything else in regards to how it comes across on the wrestling
I just think that it comes down to, getting more matches on shows and having us feel more as an equal on the show as not just a special attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So the more matches you're going to see on shows, the more women-led pay-per-views such as the NWA 7491 or having Raw and SmackDown with main events, having Dynamite and Rampage with main events that are women. We just need those opportunities, and we will be just viewed all together as professional wrestlers. We're wrestlers, overall, and we just want the respect and the recognition that we deserve, and that's the bottom line. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Taya, thank you. Sure enough.
Thank you.
Brothers, thank you. Thank
any
you.
other questions for us before you go? Or
Actually, one. What is the future of the Wrestling Showcase overall in terms of distribution of content and future shows? You guys have alluded to more stuff, but how does this work with the championship that's arranged this way?
You want me to? All right. So
You're the fight guy.
part of why we're alluding to it is because we don't want to say we don't make any promises.
Yes.
But we absolutely are talking about and figuring out what's next. The Wrestling Showcase, I think the brand itself in the beginning said, hey, maybe we could do different shows, and the Showcase is one event, right? And then there's another one that we could do this month, and another one we could do that month. And then we kind of said, let's just focus. Let's focus on making the Showcase something really special. So to me, my thought process, and not to speak for Fred, but my thought process would be, I want to see how far can we push this. Legitimately, like having a women's wrestling showcase tournament so that we can really build that brand as opposed to just doing a bunch of other little shows. And I personally, Fred and I both, we grew up, we loved the King of the Ring and,
Sure.
the tournament style. So I think that the best thing that we can really do is focus on what can we do next for the wrestling showcase. How can we continue to build this so that it eventually becomes a can't miss annual event where people really are spending all year going, hey, that guy's really hot over there, or this girl's really taking over wrestling. I bet they're going to be in the tournament. They should be in the tournament, and this one's going to win. And that's really our vision for it. So it is definitely not a promotion. It's definitely not. We are not starting a new promotion.
Once a month.
All right. But it is something that we really hope is going to be here for years to come and build up to something that the wrestling world in general really looks forward to.
I mean, we were so excited about it early on, and a lot of what we would say to each other is just like, we can't wait for people to get it, whether that's the fans or the wrestlers. We want everyone to understand what this is all about. And you heard Matt Cardona say that he wasn't totally clear on what he was getting himself into until he walked in. And I think we're very proud of that. I think we delivered that message that people understand now. And whether it's people on social media are going to have their opinions about who should be involved in another tournament or where it goes from there, we're listening. And I think we just feel a sense of satisfaction that we delivered on the vision that we had, and people get it now. And I think where we go is going to build on the idea that now you all know what the Wrestling Showcase is all about.
Being brothers and stuff like that, and growing up together watching wrestling and stuff like that, where have you, coming from different perspectives of it overall on the show as well, I'm kind of curious, where do you guys think, like, oh, I would love to see that maybe done a little differently, like looking, just instant kind of reactions from your perspective, being on commentary, but also like running the show, and then you being behind the scenes too and helping out?
I'd like much less camera focus on him. That's it. There's a lot.
I do want to say, as far as running the show, Fred worked gorilla the entire night. So I got to go out and talk about a match that was happening in the ring. Fred had to actually run the show. But, I did get the opportunity with the graphics and creatives and all that stuff. So and again, it was part of a team of people. I certainly do not want it to seem like this was something that I did or just Fred did or just the two of us. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
It's been a long day, everybody.
Yeah, it's been a long 3 days.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a few months.
Yeah, I got about 8 hours of sleep over the last 3 days. But yeah, it's, what? But I think that the in general with the Wrestling Showcase and us running this and looking at what would we want to do differently, is it what would we like to see differently in the business in general or differently for a future wrestling showcase?
More like, I think a little bit of both, and kind of what I'm getting at in a lot of ways.
So one thing that we heard from a lot of people and that we were really pleased with, there were certain matches, I don't remember which one it was, but I looked at my watch and I looked at the run sheet, and it was exactly to the minute of what we had planned out. And that does not happen a lot. And the fact that we actually went off the air a little bit earlier, but just a little bit earlier, everybody stuck to their times, everyone, like, to me, and one of the referees said to me, he's like, man, everybody should follow suit with this. This was a little over 2 hours, in and out, and it's, quality over quantity. That was really what I think. So I think, I personally would like to see that. I think you can have a more enjoyable show if it's a little bit shorter. Always leave them wanting a little bit more, as opposed to going like, okay, I'm exhausted, like all of you are going to be in a second if I keep talking. But Taya's done, and she's just still sitting here. I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I need more questions so I can talk. But no, I think, and as far as the showcase itself, we had from a technical standpoint, there were some things that we would like to, be able to do differently. Obviously, we had from a talent standpoint, that we had to change some things up, and completely understandably, we have no issues with that. It was what it was, and I think we ended up just as good, if not better, with what we had tonight. So, I just think in general, I hope that for the talent, this is going to sound like I'm putting myself over, but I hope that other promoters will look at this and hear about this and will go, okay, maybe we need to step it up a little bit with how we treat the talent. Maybe we need to step up a little bit with taking care of their travel and taking care of their hotel and making sure that, they actually have I was going to say you had food, but you said you needed to eat, so I don't know.
There was food there.
There was food. There was food. I don't know. But yeah, so that's something
Picky, okay?
No, it's okay. We'll get you some deep dish. That's what we're going to do. I'll go
I
after
gotta wear spandex tomorrow again. So.
Okay.
Probably not.
Jeez.
I do not. I love a suit.
Halloween's coming up. Maybe you can dress like Johnny Showcase or something.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can dress up like me.
Still gonna need. There we go. All right. And that's what everyone is gonna be tuning into now. That is what's next for the Wrestling Showcase cosplay of Johnny Showcase and Taya. We should wrap it up. Let's go. We're just very happy. No, we're just very, very happy. I want to thank Derek.
Absolutely.
The PR. Seriously, you guys all interacted with him. We literally could not have done this without him.
The amount of social media work that man did to get our wrestlers opportunities to really speak and talk about the showcase and tell people what it was all about. Derek, thank you, and it was really no problem.
And to the talent as well, because look, the talent got paid. They got paid to work a show. They got paid to work this day. They did not get paid to go and do interview after interview after interview to hype this show. And so that means the world to us, and we really do appreciate that. I also just want to say, Jared, no, GoPro. We were just very happy. Fight. I was very happy to be able to bring this show to Fight, and I think that hopefully this they deem this a success as well. It was a success. I don't know how they couldn't, but we're very happy with how this went. So just thank you to everybody who made this possible. Thank all of you for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Really appreciate it.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming out. Always appreciate it. Josh, Fred, Taya, thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Great job.
Thanks, guys.